my name is Hendrik and I'm from Australia, and I'm currently working for CAD International in online marketing, business development, and helping clients with their CAD and BIM workflows. Okay, so for today's webinar, we're going to be building up our terrain and our ground floor, and we're going to be locating it onto the terrain. So this is all going to be based on this DWG that we've imported into ARCHLine. Okay, and we're going to create our sections like this so that we can have structurally sound connections. Right, so let's get straight into it. So that's all good, and what we need to do next is we need to add some walls. Okay, so that's going to be pretty straightforward. So we'll go back to our 2D ground floor and we'll just select existing buildings because this is the only one we want to see at the moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to wall. Okay, and we're going to go to we'll go to brick veneer, so 250mm brick veneer. And I'm going to make a copy and just remove the plasterboard because that's not necessarily needed for this example. Okay, so we got the brick veneer, so I'm just going to go right click to properties and I'm just going to remove this plasterboard layer. Okay, and we're going to go modify and activate. Okay, and then we can start placing this. Okay, so we'll just go from right to left. Okay, we'll hit F5 and okay, wrong way around. So we'll go left to right. F5 and we can just hold shift and it'll snap here. If it's not snapping, what we can do is just go down here to snap and grid and we can make sure that snap is enabled and also these ones down here. Okay, now we'll just go ahead and finish this. Okay, and we can just keep adding it and just keep adding it like that. Okay. Okay, now we can see there's something coming up at the bottom. And what's happening is actually the section is refreshing every single time. Okay, so what we can do is we're just gonna hide our sections. So I'm just gonna hide that section and this one as well so that we don't need this to be refreshed every single time. Now, if we go back and we just go right click, create similar, we can just continue what we were doing before. Okay, so now as you can see, it's going to be a lot faster because we're not constantly updating a section. Okay, so that's if you disable, if you just turn the sections off, or you can just disable it in the settings. Okay, so let's just continue this. Okay, oops, not there. From here all the way down to there. Okay, right there. And we'll just go to right there. Okay, so we've got our brick veneer. Now let's just have a look here. Okay, so we've got the brick veneer like this. Okay, now for the construction detail, right, let's just go have a look at our hidden views and we'll just have a look at this section. Okay, so in the section you can see that this is not properly connected, so this needs to go down by 100 mils. Okay, because we've got a slab that's 100 mils thick. So we need the external brick to actually go down, and then we'll have a 230 mil brick cavity. Okay, and we'll have a foundation underneath that. So we've got to actually change this basement, and we've got to bring it up a little bit because we're going to use this for our foundation. Okay, so we'll go back to the floor plan, right click. Okay, and this basement, we're going to set this to 400 mils. So that's going to be the height of the foundation walls. Okay, and we're just going to change this back to 0. Okay, and we'll just go okay. Right, so now you can see in the section it's updated that. Okay, so we can just hide this section again. So that just goes back to hidden views. All right, Now the next step is to actually make some updates in the walls. Right, now you can see everything has disappeared, and that's because we need to turn on those layers again. So if we turn those back on and just hit rebuild, it's going to regenerate everything. Alright, so we need to make some updates to these walls, okay? So we're going to do that via the styles. So we're going to go here to brick veneer, and I'll just delete this old one. Okay, and we're going to create a new one. Actually, we'll edit this one. Okay, so we'll go to properties, and we're going to edit the individual layers. Right, so you can see there's an exterior side and an interior side. So this is the different layers of your wall. Okay, so we can see there's brick, air, and there's a timber stud. So what we've got to do is we've got to change this one, the base offset, we've got to change that to bottom of the slab, okay, because it's extruding, we need it to extrude all the way down. So we're selecting bottom of structure, and we can just copy this and we can paste this. Okay, so you'll soon see the benefit of being able to use multiple layers in ARCHLine. So we'll go okay, and I'm going to create a new style just to manage this. So just so that we know where we've saved this, we'll just call this bottom of structure, and we'll just add in the extrusion that it's moved down by, and I'll just go okay. Okay, now all we have to do, this is a very simple and straightforward process. You just highlight over everything, select the walls, okay, and then change the style. Okay, so now you can see all those construction details have automatically populated throughout our design. So all we have to do, okay, is we just have to click rebuild, and then everything will be set accordingly. Right, so let's have a look at our sections. So we'll just go back to hidden views, and we'll look at our section. Okay, and let's just have a look here. Okay, so we've got this coming down all the way. Now let's just update our section. So we'll select this one to use, and we'll just kind of move it across a little bit. So we'll move it like that. Okay. Right, so now you can see it's going down all the way. So we've got a proper construction detail actually happening right here. Right, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to add the foundation wall. Okay, so that's a pretty straightforward process. Okay, so let's get straight into it. So this one, yep. Okay, so let's see. We need to create a 230 double brick wall. So I'm going to delete this one and just show you how to create it. Okay, so we'll go to the brick, double brick cavity. We'll go to properties. All these walls are actually available in the Australian template. So you can download that on our website, and like I said, we'll have the details below this video. Okay, okay, so we'll just go edit compound walls, and this one needs to be 10 mil air gap, okay, like this. And I'm just going to go to okay, and I'm just going to save this as a 230 mil double brick cavity. Okay, and I'm going to make it available. So ARCHLine, you can make this available in this project only or in all projects. So it gives you two options. Okay, and that's a great way to globally save your different building elements. And for this one, I'm just going to click there. Okay, and I'll just go activate and okay. Right, so now we need to switch to our basement level. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a problem now because we can't see where our building is. Okay, and that's because we need to ghost it. Okay, so we're just going to go to ground floor and hit ghost. Okay, now we've got a lot of elements here and we can't really see properly. So what you want to do is you want to just make available the layer that you need. So we need existing building, and that's it. So we can also do load bearing walls, which is just going to show like this. which is probably easier. So you can switch between any one of those two. I think I'll stick with load-bearing walls. But I'll show you the other way around as well. So we'll go existing building. Okay, now you can actually change the color appearance of this, and you can make it lighter. So let me show you how to do that, because this is essentially a ghost layer. Okay, so if we go down here to settings, how to display visible but inactive levels. Okay, replacement color, you can do halftone, right? And it's going to show like this. You can do, let's see, if we do this as color, replacement color, inactive but building. Okay, so this one, we can select this to custom, let's say like a light blue color like that, just so it's slightly faded. Okay, now you can see your trace layer. Sorry, your trace level, your ghost layer. Now what we can do is we can just go ahead and we can do our what is it, the foundation walls. Okay, so we've got the double brick 230 mil. That's the one that we're going to use. Okay, so we'll just switch from the outside. We'll hit F5 just to change the reference. Okay, and just hit Shift to make sure that we're creating it in a straight line. Okay, and go like this. Okay, and we'll just finish this off. And like that. Okay, now we'll go have a look at the sections. Let's have a look here. So now you can see we've got our foundation walls below. Okay, and I think that looks quite good. So let's have a look in the 3D. Okay, so you can see we've got our foundation walls right there. Okay, running all along the bottom. Okay, and I think that will do. So let's go back and have a look here. So that was a pretty straightforward process. So actually all we need to do now is we need to add a basically a foundation slab below all of this. Okay, and for that we're going to create a slab. So we'll go to slabs and we need a 400 by 400 foundation, and I'll just quickly show you how to create that. Okay, so we've got a 300 mil foundation here, so I'll just go and make a copy. You can essentially do this with any slab. So I'll just rename this 400 by 400 foundation. Okay, and we're going to change some of the properties. So essentially all it is just a slab like this, and this one is the total thickness, which we need to change to 400. And we'll just enter it like that. Go modify and activate. So I'll just hit OK. And we're going to add that to our building. Okay, but before we do that, there's one thing that we quickly need to do, which is make this coarse. Okay, and you'll soon see why. So we'll change this to coarse black. Okay, so we can just see a simple line like that so that we can actually select the center. Okay. Okay, so now we'll just add a foundation. So we're just going to go to slab and we're just going to go to foundation. We'll go 400 mils and we're going to select all along the middle. Okay, now we've added some references so that we can see that it's in the middle. So we'll just hit F5, F5 again, and we'll make sure this is centered. Okay, and we'll just select it along the middle, like that. Okay, and like this. Okay, and like this. And we'll just hit enter. Okay, now you can see there's been a mistake here in what I've actually created. So that can actually be fixed quite easily. So we can just insert a node right like that. Actually, if we go in the 3D, that should work properly. So if we just fix this, we can go insert node and we just move it to there. And we can just delete this. So it's all connected now. So we've got our foundation, and all we need to do now is, you can see there's a 100 mil gap in between. So that's something we will need to fix, okay, and that's very easy to do. The reason for that is each level, okay, it's assuming that there's a slab on each level, a 100 mil slab, which is the preset for this, but we can change this. We simply need to change this from bottom of structure to the top of the structure. So let's go right click on floor plan. Okay, and we'll go to this basement. Okay, and you can see this is 100 mils. All right, so we need to go to the settings of the slab, go to edit, slab layers. Okay, you can see this 400, and we'll just go check here to base offset from the floor. We'll change this to top of structure, and we'll just go okay. Then that's going to automatically update. And we'll have a look at the sections. Right, so you can see you've got a foundation wall, and you've got your foundation at the bottom, and you've actually got the you've got your section already prepared. Okay, and you've got the walls sitting on top. Okay, so very simply we can just go back to the top floor, and we can just switch this back to fine. Okay, and we can also enable all these layers. Okay, so if we go now to magnify view, okay, and we can just switch back to rebuild. Okay, so we've got a ground floor here ready to go, and you can see if we go down below, we've got all our construction details. Okay, so we've just got a bit lost here, so let's just move back. Right, so essentially this is all we're going to need, and then the rest you just sort of fill in as your design changes. Okay, now the great thing about this, if I want to change all these wall heights, okay, I can just do it in one go. So I can just go to properties, okay, ground floor, let's say this changes to 2700. Okay, so I just change that. Okay, and then this updates all the walls. So you can see that's instantly updating everything at once. So this kind of makes it really easy to work with different consultants, and if there's something that changes, you can just update this once into your design. So let's go and update this. Just hit rebuild, and that's going to update everything.